spread your wings. Explore. We've got plenty of places for you to spill your blood on this set. Just take your pick. Now don't forget, the more blood, the better! Please, make yourself right at home. Mi casa es su casa. Welcome to the other side of town where things get worse. Much worse! Like a rat in a maze. Only this one is filled with things that want to suck your brains through a straw. Ah, and what a scene that would be! You have to admire the set work that was put into this town. It's an exquisite piece of craftsmanship. Perhaps we could add you to the decor. Permanently! Now, if you just get in front of that car, we just might have something to stitch together. Death by toxin injection? That would most certainly get you squirming and screaming. Care to give it a try? I prefer your blood to splatter, but shattering is just fine too. Besides, it'd thaw out eventually. Asphyxiation! Wonderful! We're prepped for an extreme close-up, so we can truly focus on your last gasp as it leaves your lifeless corpse. This scene would be a lot more exciting if you were sitting in that trap. Quit wasting your time with that! Unless, of course, you want to slide yourself in there for a real good shot! Just when you think we've got the shot, you go and step out of frame! Now get back in that trap and show me some blood! We'll never get your close-up shot right if you keep avoiding all of those wonderful toys! Might I suggest letting that thing have its way with you? My audience is just dying to hear you scream! What? Not feeling like a swim? You'd look like a real prize if you were extra crispy! Why not give it a try? Self-induced electrocution? I like where you're going with this! Cut! That's a wrap, people! Worst death scene. Act 1. Cases, everybody! You'll never work in this town again! Next time, you need to cry on cue, then die on cue! That performance makes me want you to be a better actor! Congratulations! You've clinched the nomination for lamest death scene in a horror movie. I'm so proud. Oh my! I'm afraid this one is bound for an early digital release. Do it again, with feeling, please! You don't have it, kid. And I don't even know what it is. But whatever it is, you don't have it! Oh, how far the star has fallen! You can't even die believably! I have half a mind to recast you. Stop messing up my masterpiece! Go in tight. Hold it. Now dolly out. Slowly. Continue bleeding. Continue bleeding. More bleeding. More bleeding. And sing! The only convincing part of that performance was when you died. And if it wasn't for the gallons of your blood spilled everywhere, I don't think I would have even believed that! Thank you for ending your woefully mind-numbing performance. You call that acting? You couldn't act yourself out of a paper bag! Try again! Clearly there was some mix-up with the casting director, Because I was under the impression I was working with real actors and not the rejects from an elementary school play. How can I put this? You're as dead as your career. Bravo. A truly uninspired performance worthy of softcore porn or cable network sitcoms. Auditions for the hemorrhoid commercials are next week. Why am I always stuck working with amateurs? The best thing about your performance is that it ended. So, I guess you got that part right. You missed all your cues and flubbed every line that came out of that garbage hole you call a mouth. Other than that, you did great. Perhaps next time you'll stick to the script. I don't pay you to think. I don't pay you to act. In fact, I don't pay you at all. Which is why this arrangement has worked so well, and why I'm still alive and you're dead. You remind me of the cast that auditioned before you. They couldn't act either. Really, don't worry. I've got nothing better to do than to stand around watching you play these damn arcade games. What's the matter? New York too scary for you? This film isn't going to film itself, you know. How many times do I have to tell you? The break room is not part of the set! It's funny how no matter how many times you tell an actor we aren't shooting behind the scenes footage, that they somehow keep going behind the scenes! You sit in here any longer and we'll have to go straight to home movies and skip the theatrical release. What is it with you in this place? You do realize the cameras aren't rolling in here, right? I wouldn't normally say this, but get back on the damn set already! Trust me, kid. You'll never get discovered in a place like this. So you want to just sit in the arcade, drowning your sorrows in 8-bit color palettes, huh? Sounds like an actor's recipe for obscurity to me. Not exactly the place nor the command performance I was looking for. All done with the tattoos and the gangster lingo? That's too bad, Sally. That was easily one of your best performances yet, though that isn't saying much given what you phoned in thus far. Perhaps if we can get a truly usable death scene from you out of this film, it won't be a complete and utter waste of my time! Sally! You continue to bore me with these, let's just say, less than stellar performances. Perhaps you could intensify your screams and pour out a few more gallons of your blood. Then we might have something to work with. Maybe if you put your heart into this, we might have something. And I mean quite literally. Your heart, ripped from your chest, just might be what a starlet like you needs to muster up the commanding performance this film needs. We're not going to get the shot with you hanging out in the arcade all night. You do want to make it in this town, don't you? Well, if you want to find yourself laying on more than a casting couch, you better start laying on the pavement. In your blood! I think a break from the set is exactly what you needed. Though I'd have preferred it if it were in a body bag. Horror takes talent, my dear. And at this rate, I'm not even sure if I killed you myself we could get something usable. Though I am beginning to consider joining the cast for such an occasion. Still going for that damsel in distress look, I see. That didn't do you much good the last couple of times, but maybe, just maybe, this time it'll work. Oh, little Sally, stuck in the arcade again while the boys have all the fun. Too bad. You look like you were dressed for the occasion tonight. If that occasion involved you getting beautifully dismembered on camera, you can hardly turn in a decent performance, and now you want to just run away in the arcade? This is not where stars are born, Sally. No, this is just where we dump the trash. Well, well, well. Look what the cat dragged in. I'm surprised to see you here, but not surprised you made it this far. You already know the way. Here you are again, wasting perfectly good celluloid, unable to do the simplest of tasks, die on kill. Question remains, do you stay dead? Death doesn't have to be your end, Poindexter. Unless, of course, you can give me a better performance because that last trip in here was, let's just say, less than your best, kid! Oh, what's wrong, kid? Didn't pay attention watching Shaolin Shuffle? You just can't get enough of this place, can you, kid? Really, kid? I've seen more believable performances in tampon commercials. No more tokens already? What happened? Traded in your joystick for an anarchy patch too soon? Be careful what you wish for around a place like this. You just might get it. There's a bigger picture out there, Poindexter. You just have to find it for yourself. You call that acting? At best, that was dying. Badly. One more time. When the die cue card goes up, you die. Sit tight. Your friends will be joining us in no time. I thought a trip back to your hometown might help you bring a better performance. I've been wrong before. Overwhelming evidence points to the casting for this role. Honestly, you were terrible in Rave in the Redwoods. Miscast? Perhaps. But real talent can fill any role. Just like a good actor can die on cue. Let's try this again. Once you've mustered enough courage to get back on set, all that street savviness just wasted. What happened to the tough city kid that climbed out of the gutter and onto the stage? I'm sure that kid could have turned out a proper death scene. You, on the other hand, haven't done anything but waste my time. Looks like your posse is going it alone. Don't worry, though. I'm sure they'll be joining you any moment. All out of tokens, huh? Sounds like my patience. With your horrible performances. 3 movies in, and this is the best you can do? What an utter waste of celluloid. My time, and all those damn zombies. Oh, look who's back, ladies. Our resident hotshot AJ. And I must say, you really do make that 70s get-up look rather ridiculous. With a few splashes of blood, though. You'll be looking fabulous. Welcome back to your home away from home. But before you get too cozy, somebody needs to send you back to wardrobe. You're looking a little too healthy for this scene. You've done this whole death thing before, kid. All we need is something on camera that my audience can sink their teeth into. You were certainly looking the part, but you still can't die your way out of a paper bag. All the looks in the world and not an acting bone in your body. You sound like half of Hollywood nowadays. You're going to be huge with the 976 crowd. Just do your dying bit. Over the phone, no one will ever know the difference. Who's gonna save poor little AJ now? No one, that's who! Ha 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 ha! Looks like the arcade is your last stop, handsome. Unless, of course, they can stay alive. With all that athleticism, I thought I'd rarely ever see you in a place like this. Though with those acting skills, I should hardly be surprised. Looks only get you so far, you know. Well, well, well. If it isn't our favorite little busty waste of time. Based off of that last performance, It's looking like you're gonna be spending a lot more time in here. Welcome to the end of the road for talentless rejects. You'd better get comfortable, because your unimaginative and dull hosting days are long gone, my darling.
Finally off of your little velvet casting couch, I see. There's no couch in here, my dear. But you'll get used to it. They all do. I was certain that we could get something usable from your death, but you've proven once again, like most of Hollywood, to be nothing more than a talentless push-up bra with no brains. Oh, all out of tokens. And here I was, thinking you were finally ready for your close-up. But alas, you've proven to be nothing more than a pretty face with no talent. A shame, really. You had such potential. I've been told the old arcade could use some prettying up. Not quite what I'd want to decorate the place with, but I guess you'll just have to do. Just when you were getting the hang of things, and your career comes to a screeching halt. Pity. I once thought you might actually have some talent, hiding under that beehive of yours.
Laugh it up, you brainless beehive. Even if these idiots escape this film, you'll be here forever! No! You were supposed to let the radioactive thing have its way with you, not kill it! Do you have any idea what something like that takes to manifest? What are you doing? That scene called for you to die, not the radioactive thing! You're ruining my movie! You had one job. One job! Why is it so hard for you to just die? On your mark, my dear. Our finale is ready to be shot, and I've got big plans for this scene. Oh, and don't forget to bleed immensely. We'll need that to really sell your death. Finally, the real star of this film is ready to get things right. Now remember, it just needs you to stand still while it decimates you. Of course, you can try to resist for some added flavor, but we all know resistance is futile. Oh, goody. Look what the tide dragged in. Your death! Feast on their souls. Your souls will be devoured. Nothing can save you now. You can try to run. You can try to hide. You can try to stay alive, but no matter what, your souls will be mine! Devour their souls. The 80s were exactly the time period he needed to expose his true potential. And with his hero present, it would take just the slightest push in the right direction. The mere sight of David was the icing on the cake that would be enough to reel him in, hook, line, and sinker. He breezed through the theme park with little to no fanfare. His strength and leadership only furthered my suspicions. He was ready for more. He could be the one that brings inspiration for the others, but it is too early to tell. I'll need to test him in the worst of circumstances before a celebration can be had. The rave will suit that testing case quite superbly. The 90s has devoured most before they could explore more of my work. Very few have sustained its onslaught of terror. But AJ has shown that he is no mere mortal. The rave and all of the horrors within it were merely an early morning warm-up for him. He made short work of Kevin in his horrific yet beautiful form as the enraged slasher. What a majestic dance that was to behold. Though his promise has shone through, there is much to prove before a toast can be raised. The rat-infested streets of New York are nothing short of horror at its finest. What shall become of our young explorer? I wait with bated breath! New York has consumed so many that I have lost hope that any could survive the arterial sprayed pavement. The rodent infestation orchestrated by Arthur has assured that all who enter will be consumed, one tiny bite at a time. The king and his band of rodents were exterminated quicker than I had anticipated. Pamela showed more courage with this group than she had with her own, which came as rather surprising. I'm uncertain of what her sudden change of heart means, but her guidance manifested even greater courage from the lot. Though death was nearly certain, AJ has once again risen to astounding heights. What a surprise you have proven to be, young AJ. What a surprise indeed. I've been utterly lost without you, Alexandra. Terrified to face this reality and turn cold from it. Without you, I am but a former shell of myself. You are my light, my world, my angel. My attempts at sleep after your passing have brought upon an endless stream of nightmares, and has only made reality without you that much more unbearable. Your pictures draped throughout our home haunt me with the reminder that I am alone, utterly alone. The studio work we began together and the films in development have allowed me to bury myself and forget, even if only temporarily. Forgetting you is not what I want, but the pain, the anguish, is a burden greater than I can bear. Winona's face is so much like that of yours that it pains me to look upon our own child. I love her tremendously, and I try to remain strong, yet I find myself pushing her further away to escape the agony. I miss you so, my love. I knew the struggles of Andre's upbringing would bring immense courage, but his commanding 80s performance has far exceeded my expectations. The blast from his past allowed me to see that this young man had greatness buried within him, and Spaceland brought every ounce of it to the surface. David, though not instrumental, did prove to be inspirational. His plight has infused Andre with just enough rage that should bring out the fire within. The discomforts and horror of the rave should further test his will. Either he rises, or his blood will bathe the darkness of Rave's forest. Rave like no other shreds the will and flesh of many. Hopeless and helpless from the outset, most collapse at the premise. Yet Andre rose again. Finding Kevin completed what David had began previously, releasing the rage hiding within this young man. Perhaps Kevin has proven useful after all. Shame! He too held such promise, yet left me with little choice but to contain him in his endlessly continuing nightmare. Finally, I have found a use for him. All too familiar, this premise has played out before. I'll have to send him to a place that will feel like home, but will do nothing but suck the soul from his cold corpse. Welcome back to New York! The heinous streets of the Big Apple are treachery with a side of mayhem for good measure. Surely this would be a fitting place for Andre to take his last breath. A return to the place he once called home came to be his breakout performance. Arthur and his band of rats did little to frighten Andre. In fact, the horrors of the bloody pavement and the violent locals seemed to make him feel right at home. With Pamela reignited alongside this new cast member, she too blossomed. Arthur's reign collapsed in splendid fashion, with 5 souls united as one. None have survived where I will send him next. His blood shining in the sun near the crashing waves of the beach is highly likely. Sink or swim, it's your move, Andre. I have sent thousands through this maze, endlessly searching for the few that can withstand its onslaught of treachery and deceit. Every last one of them has been filled with too much fear or anger to persevere. Those closest to succeeding filled me with such hope. For a moment, I believed that I had finally come upon specimens that could endure. But alas, they too had proven to be nothing more than a parlor trick, loaded with disappointment. My search must continue. Their true memories are but a thing of lore, as I require them for a performance far greater than they were ever previously destined for. Celebrity is nothing more than a thin coat of armor that fades. But here they can profoundly change the destiny of so many. The original 4 now must remain encased in this prison, as little more than supplemental aids, endlessly awaiting the 4 that can truly help me unravel this spider web. Forgive me, my friends, but the lost souls of this dimension need your attention and your will to fight. You shall be their beacon of light. Poindexter had clearly studied my work, and his inner knowledge of Spaceland more than made up for his lack of physical might. Feeble but brilliant, I could see moments of myself churning within this young man. With all their strength, charm, and courage, it was his wisdom that they turned to in their darkest hour. While he was enamored with David's presence, it did little to feed his desire for factual knowledge about his unusual circumstances. Perhaps I will have to pair him with someone more like himself before he will truly commit. Though surviving that long would be quite the spectacle, and at this juncture, the possibilities of his demise are immense. Though I presumed his role would lead him to certain death, it was his quick thinking that kept himself and the others alive. I wonder what will become of him should I take some of that intelligence away and slow his mind. The twisted branches of horror that filled the forest tore the soul out of nearly all cast into it. Rave proved to be the collapsing point, and one that I was adamant would consume Poindexter. Yet here Poindexter stood over the corpses of his foes with little fear in his heart. The role of the would-be raver had little capability in slowing Poindexter, as it had so many others. No matter what he encountered in the rave, his wit outclassed the challenge. The eventual discovery of Kevin and the realization of his true form within rave did little else to deter this young man from the answers he sought. New York would now become the new testing ground for such an assault. Will the rat destroy the rage? Or will his anger consume and cloud his vision? My, what an exciting development of events. New York has turned even the brightest of hopes into dashed dreams within an instant. Arthur had seen to the demise of most of the would-be venturers of the blood-stained subways and rat-infested streets. The aid of Pamela and the strength bestowed upon Poindexter, the fearsome duo rose to the occasion, sending Arthur to the grave yet again. With his wisdom intact and a surge of rage coursing through his veins, the once reigning king stood no more. Still, he has not bonded with any of the previous four as the others have. If this journey is to open a path to what he seeks, his next venture will undoubtedly be his last chance. She, like him, holds the intimate knowledge of these films. Though they have walked differing paths, their likenesses are undeniably similar. Perhaps an increase in his wit and a dose of uncanny beauty will catapult him to his true self. Let the games begin! Spaceland was hardly a challenge for such a ferociously courageous young woman. Her fearlessness and determination, even in a role that would appear to make her fodder at first glance, did little to stop her. I pegged first sight of the brute as her collapse, but no, not our little Sally. David has more than made up for his past failures. She has played right into the game and is now on a crash course with death and destruction. She is proving to be more than worthy, but I mustn't get ahead of myself. She still has much to prove. Perhaps a dance within the rave will cease her journey. The training grounds of the rave, and all of the terror that waited underneath its pale blue moon, raised the stakes considerably. She has once again proven she is more than I had anticipated. The rave and all of its inhabitants were no match for my hand-picked vixen. The horrors within the blood-soaked forest, including the slasher, were nothing more than an appetizer. I've seen this before, and for all of his disappointment, I left Kevin in that place as a painful reminder. Disappointment was an understatement, to say the least. The Big Apple should end her dance with death. If not, she might prove to be something more than just a flash in the pan. Patience, young grasshopper. You have survived the filthy streets of New York. Arthur made certain of that. He too once showed immense promise, but like many of the others, he became obsessed with my demise and sought to control my film, my world. Foolish imbecile. It was Pamela that I would send to rid me of his menace. She was such a prospect. I still see the good in her, but I require more than that. Sally could be that greatness. She believes in Pamela, and through her a path that was once narrow for others has blossomed. It is conceivable that the events of their meeting will catapult her through what none have survived. Only time will tell, young Sally. Only time will tell. I've spent lifetimes searching. Is this all for naught? Shall I be punished further, trapped in this place? It matters not. I must persevere for them. They are all that matters. I've been so careful, yet I fear a watchful eye is upon me. Even these thoughts feel invaded and unsafe. Am I just being overly paranoid? All I have done has shown that I have served well. I have never openly strayed from this curse. May they all grant forgiveness to a foolish soul. My little one, how you've grown so and become more than I could ever have fathomed. Winona Lee, there isn't a day that goes by that you don't pass through the halls of my fading memory. When your mother passed away, I promised that I would protect you with all of my heart and soul. I have failed you. My creative desires have corrupted all those that I have held so dear to my heart. Your passing was the final wound in a defeated man that no longer had the will to live. I want nothing more than to undo the treachery released by my convictions. I remain a lost soul amongst all the others with despair, fear, and uncertainty at every turn. I seek the freedom of all that I have encapsulated in this prison that exists neither here nor there. Why must you continually ruin my films? It seems I'm just going to have to show you something far, far worse. Resist all you desire, but one way or another, your souls will be mine! While I can certainly admire your determination, I've got something far more sinister awaiting you. I'd keep the celebration brief, as your extinction is nearly upon us all. This is the moment we've all been waiting for! Your slow and painful death! Those that seek to collect are going to be none too pleased with this performance. Be mindful of what you wish for. You just might receive it. If only I could get you to recreate your demise, we'd actually have something to utilize. You know, if I wanted someone to redirect the film, I'd have hired someone with an ounce of talent and a brain! The only thing I'm worried about is you getting your blood all over the place. It's hell cleaning that place up, you know. But in your case, I'll make an exception. That's not what I heard. The only time I want from you is a 10-second shot of your blood dripping onto the set. I didn't put you in there to alter the film, you brain-dead bimbo. You're just supposed to be a blood-soaked set dressing! Now that's the spirit. Though you'll just be a fading memory by the time this film is done with you. The only thing you've got up your sleeve is a one-way ticket to death! Ah, the 1950s. This was truly one of my favorite periods of film production. The celluloid was pure and devoid of all the bloated rubbish crammed into films today. A time where latex monsters could frighten even the most unrelenting souls, and the camera work could sell a scene. Things were simple, pure, and drenched with chocolate syrup. Tonight, though, I'll call for authenticity and ditch the syrup. Your blood will do just fine. If you were looking for horror with authentic thrills and chills, look no further than Attack of the Radioactive Thing! Crafted from the nostalgic memories of a time nearly forgotten, this was one of my most endearing projects. Now, before you meet your death, please take a moment to enjoy the blood-soaked set pieces and, of course, your newest flesh-consuming castmates! The rats were nothing in comparison to what you've got waiting for you here. If a million little monsters can't get the job done, how about one massive monster? Ooh, I just can't wait to get you all in frame together. The carnage is going to be absolutely delicious. What has claws the size of a school bus, a thirst for human flesh, and can wipe out an entire town in moments? Ooh, Just you wait and see. Now places, everyone! Our undead co-stars and their larger-than-life friend are ready to join you in frame. And... action! Ah, I see our favorite talentless rejects are ready for their scene. Let's not keep our guests waiting. They've got blood to spray and brains to share. Dig in, my ferocious little darlings. Dig in! You continue to amaze me, film after film. I'd have pegged certain death on the big rotten apple, but since you insist, we'll let the fabulous 50s tear you to shreds instead. Soon you'll be wishing you'd have let the rats devour you. Oh, but it's too late for that now. Can you smell the fresh beach air? Can you feel the warm sun dancing on your flesh? Don't get caught up in the beauty of this place, though. The locals don't care much for tourists, and the water is nothing short of a spectacular time in graphic mutilation. Your performances continue to bore me. From Spaceland to Shaolin, you've managed to string along some of the worst performances ever to grace the silver screen. Last chance, boys and girls. Die here with grace and beauty, or face a far worse death than you can imagine. The choice is yours, of course. Wardrobe and makeup never cease to amaze me. I'll have to thank V once again for her tireless efforts in bringing such a ho-hum, ragtag bunch of talentless rejects to life. Now all you have to do is the opposite. And die! The cameras are rolling and the mics are set. I know this will be hard for someone of your acting caliber, but your role here is rather simple. Bleed. Bleed some more. Scream. Scream some more. And of course, the coup de grace. Die! From an 80s space cadet back to a brainless 50s space cadet. I think we finally found your range, Sally. Now let's capitalize on that brainless aspect. And of course I do mean quite literally. We've got cast members to feed, you know. You were absolutely scrumptious in your last role, but I think you overplayed the part. Perhaps a return to a more intelligent role with less angst might suit you more. Now don't forget, you've got a wonderful white lab coat on that is just chomping at the bit to get soaked with your blood. Come now, my boy. This is your moment to show your audience that death is your forte. Andre, I was yearning for the mean streets of the Big Rotten Apple to devour you, but alas, your performance left much to be desired. Perhaps you need a much bigger co-star, and I've got just what you need. Now do please introduce yourself. It hasn't eaten in a while, you know. You'll enjoy this role, AJ. All you need to do is look pretty for the camera and soak the screen with thoughts of your blood and flesh. See? No talent required whatsoever. Just let pain and death shine through. Your talentless brain can manage that, right? Elvira! Welcome to the real action! Though I'm sure that germ-infested couch of yours has seen plenty of its own. The juxtaposition of this era and your, assets should make for some interesting opportunities for you to bear all. Of your guts, that is! So, are we ready for that close-up? I know the crew is ready to assist you with your big reveal. Oh, I can hear it now. The beauty of your screams, the splatter of your blood. These are the moments people yearn to hear from you on screen. So don't ruin it! Now remember, Elvira, don't stop bleeding, breathing, or drifting off into oblivion until I say, cut! Oh, look! My least favorite B-movie actress of all time. How nice of you to join us on this most festive occasion. What are we celebrating, you ask? Why, your death, of course! I hope you're ready for your close-up, Elvira. I've got some amazingly talented crew on set that specialize in dismemberment, and they are just dying to adjust that malfunction of a wardrobe you call flesh. Well, look who finally decided to get off her back for once and join the rest of the party. Do play nice with the locals. They're big fans of your work and can't wait to get up close and personal with their favorite item on the menu, your brains. Though I've already warned them, it won't be very much to eat. Oh, wonderful! You finally come out of hiding! Though you're hardly hiding much in that tasteless outfit. It won't matter, though. Unlike the rest of your affairs, your push-up bra won't be doing much with this cast, my darling. This movie doesn't call for a bimbo in a tight dress, but... oh, I've got just the costume change in mind for you. First, I'll have them tear your flesh open, and then I'll have them spread your innards across the set floor. Ooh, this is going to be marvelous! Places, everyone, places! And... action! Quit messing with the color! You're ruining the composition of my film! You're ruining a classic masterpiece! If I wanted color, I would have shot the film that way in the first place! You clearly know nothing about quality film production! This is why you are the expendable actor and I'm the director! As a matter of fact, you don't seem to know much about the acting either! The least you could do is grace us all with a proper death scene for once! Why do you continue to ruin my masterpiece with your incessant desire to destroy celluloid perfection? Besides, your monochrome blood looked delightful on camera. A true classic feast for the eyes, if you will. Enough with the color adjustments already! I go and create one of the greatest classic homages of all time, and here you are, mucking up a masterpiece! Whomever told you adjusting the tint of this classic motion picture was a good idea, they lied to you! Now if you will, quit meddling with my work and grace us with a death scene worthy of such classic movie making! You're destroying the composition and mood of my film! This film was never intended to be in color! Your meddling with the pigmentation of the celluloid is disintegrating the very thing that solidifies the homage paid to the era! You know, Elvira, the cast is ready to assist you with your ride to the afterlife anytime you're ready! We're ready for that close-up of yours whenever you're ready. All I need you to do first is die! Things would go a lot faster if you just die already! You never were a very good host. Let's see if you make a better corpse! Your push-up bra isn't gonna save you tonight. So, ready to die yet, Elvira? We've got the lights and cameras ready to catch every gruesome moment. How many times do I have to remind you that we've got a death scene to shoot, and it doesn't take place in here? We're never gonna get a good shot with you screwing around in that projector room. Don't you know we've got mayhem and murder to dance with tonight? Oh, and look, they're playing your song. Get the hell out of that projector room and get back on set. Enough with the coffee breaks in the projector room already. Quit messing around with that projector and get back on the set. There's nothing that belongs to you in that room. Now get back on set! You're wasting good film! That room is not yours to mess around with. Get back on the set! And get to dying already! We're never going to wrap filming if you keep taking these constant breaks from production. Now get back on set so we can kill you already! Breaks behind the scenes won't save you. Nothing will! Hacking will only get you punched to death! Break time's over! Now get your ass back on set so we can film that death scene of yours! Fine, take a break. It's not like death won't be waiting for you when you return. And don't worry. The cameras will be ready and rolling. Carpenter! Double money! Keep your mouth shut or I'll send you somewhere far, far worse, my dear. Perhaps I need to send you somewhere where no one will hear your screams, my dear. Newsflash. Pay no attention to the bimbo in the thrift store dress. She doesn't know what she's talking about! Do please hurry up and donate your organs already, Elvira. That's my line, you little beehive bimbo. Either shut your trap, or I'll have someone rip out your jugular and shut it for you. Not that that wasn't going to happen anyway. Continue to interrupt me, and I'll just send you to Nightfall. You'd make a lovely set dressing there. There's a blood splatter on the wall. Don't you ever shut up! Fire sale! Infinite ammo! Infinite grenades! Infinite grenades! Insta-kill! Max ammo! It doesn't matter how many you clear out! There will always be more! No, no, no! That is not what the scene called for! Take it from the top! This isn't your directorial debut, you know. I don't think you're going to get very far doing that. Oh, but please do continue. Your dismay brings me nothing but pure delight. Not as much as your death, of course, but suffer all you like! I was hoping for death, but the beauty of your pain, anguish, and torment are proving to be worth something in what has been far from an award-winning performance. Ah, what delight your failure provides. Please do continue. Perhaps add a touch of your death and we just might have something to work with here.
Not so easy, is it? Nevertheless, your determination continues to bring a smile to my face. Perhaps you could attempt death?
That, of course, is what we're here for after all.
Careful, or you'll shoot your eye out, kid. Of course, that would be quite spectacular if you could
Follow that up with your brains!
You probably should have paid closer attention in chemistry. 3 words. Worst
Performance ever!
You're wasting precious time.
Nothing can save you now. Not you, and most certainly not the others. Accept your fate.
That scene called for your
Death! Not just your failure!
Take it from the top, and please.
Get it right for once! You call that acting?
Wherever you studied your craft, I'd seek a refund. You can't possibly be serious with a performance like that, right? Clearly you've been miscast.
You didn't really think that would work, did you? Quit wasting your time. This script doesn't need your rewrite. It just needs your death!
Looks like our lovely guests are hungry.
And you're the ones on the menu! Amuse yourself while you can, my dear. You'll all be bottom feeder bait momentarily. And here I thought you only appreciated the classics from your comfy velvet couch, Elvira. Stick with that brainless bimbo and you're gonna end up seafood. Didn't you know your 15 minutes of fame was long gone, Elvira? Finally come out to feed the locals, Elvira? What? Not having enough fun in your nostalgic little paradise? Out of your little hiding spot, huh? Good, because you've got guests to feed. Shut your mouth and go back to your little hole where I put you.